Hi everybody, this is my intro video to EDL 853 Module 1. My name is Steve Wallace, which might be confusing because on every other thing it's going to say Robert Wallace. I go by my middle name. So on my assignments you'll see Steve, on the post you'll see Robert, just to give you guys a little heads up. So let's do what everybody loves to do, is talk about ourselves. So my personal demographics, my family here, you can see the picture up here. This is my wife, Ann. She's an athletic trainer for KU Athletics volleyball. She's been doing that for a long time now. This is my little girl, Addie, who turned 4, and my little buddy, Noah, who turns 2 July 11th. This will make more sense. She's actually holding a picture of our house that we just bought, and I'll explain why we just bought a house in a minute. I personally was born and raised in Olathe, went to Olathe East, then went to KU, got my undergrad in secondary education social studies. Right after that, I got my master's in physical education sports. OE. Professional demographics. So I've been in and out of education. I've also done college basketball coaching. I actually just got a new job June 5th, so it's kind of been a whirlwind at Gardner Edgerton High School. I just left Shawnee Heights High School after 3 years. Previous to that, I was coaching in college. Previous to that, I was at Piper High School in Kansas City, Kansas. And I'm certified in social studies, psychology, PE, and health. I've taught almost everything you can in social studies. I've done team sports on the PE side, AP Human Geography, and world history most recently, but also world geography, world sociology, psychology, AP Gov, and American government. So, and I've been teaching now for 5 years. So, critical reflection. Number one thing I learned is how much I don't know about special education, especially in the schools that I've been in. I get the IEPs of students in my classrooms, and I do my best to follow those. We have core subject special education classes, and what that means is I've actually, for instance, world history, I co-taught with a special education teacher in the classroom, and it was a mixed class. So there are those opportunities. There's CWCs, which is class within a class, very similar. Co-teaching, which I already mentioned with the special education teacher. Paraprofessionals, and I've had paras in several of my classes that had students with special needs. And then technology, most of this is based off of my Shawnee Heights experience because I just got to Gardner, barely know a thing about how they operate. So, but technology 1-to-1, which obviously when you have 1-to-1 technology, there's different things you can do to modify things or just different opportunities with that piece of technology that can help students that are in need. The picture that I have here, and on the next slide is actually I'm head basketball coach at Shawnee Heights. I was, and now at Gardner, and we do a Special Olympics clinic, which is one of the best little life experiences our guys have, and they love doing the Special Olympics basketball clinic during the season. So just thought I'd share that. Next one, critique your own personal use or non-use of appropriate context-based learning for special needs. I use the IEPs that are given to me, and usually that's through it was emailed to me, and I'd have to read through it, which sometimes for a person like me that doesn't have a strong background in special education, it was a little hard to read those. So I did my best to use the modifications. A lot of times it had to do with testing, going to a different place for a test. Instead of 4 options on a multiple choice, 3 options, giving extra time, those types of modifications. Same thing on assignments and projects. I tried to give choices on those, whether they wrote something, whether they drew something or did something in the artsy, made a video, whatever it would help them. Also, again, modifying assignments and tests, making less options, that sort of thing, and giving extended time on assignments and projects and tests would basically be where I am. And honestly, I don't know what other resources there were, which you'll see in my plan as to how I think general education teachers could learn more about what's out there. So my plan, like I just mentioned, educate the general ed teachers about what programs, services, resources, and staff that the SPED department provides. I think sometimes that gets lost in the shuffle as to exactly what resources and services and things are out there that could help the students, number one, but the only way it's going to help the student is if the teacher knows. Create specific time for SPED and general education teachers to communicate. So on in-service days, or if you have a planning period that allows for teachers to get together, use that time for SPED teachers, again, to educate and communicate with the general education teachers about opportunities that they could use in their classroom for their students. Hire more SPED staff. I think, obviously the more help those kids can have, the better. And obviously in the next slide, the biggest part of that is how do you pay for it. Options and more access to a separate setting. Give those kids an opportunity to have a special place to go to help them meet their needs, whether that's to have somebody read to them on a test, or whatever the case might be, is a separate setting that is available all day long. Provide more resources. Obviously, again, this costs money, but the more things that we can help our students, more available opportunities, the better we're going to see them excel. Impact on funding. This is where I think a lot of SPED programs and everything else that you want to do in education hits a road bump. Is this costs money? If you want to staff, if you want to provide more resources, it costs money. I do think there's creative ways to find money for these opportunities, and I'm learning more about those and under the administrations that I've worked for. And then, of course, funding in Kansas, which is where I'm at, is always it's hard to make any financial decisions because you don't know how much money you're going to have because of the of Congress and Supreme Court of Kansas not really seeing eye to eye on how that funding works. Appreciate you listening to my Module 1 project. Looking forward to this class. Looking forward to learning a lot more about special education because I know it's a huge and very important aspect to schools. Thank you.